the whole mantra or the whole thought behind that is you have to feel bad before you feel good. And we shouldn't be feeling good. You're in training camp. And then we move back here right prior to game week because it's like a golf course out here, what we practice on. So the legs start coming back, start feeling good about competition and playing. But right now we're just in, it's not survival mode yet, but by the time you hit Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be pure survival mode, which is what training camp's all about. Mike Weber had his black stripe taken off. He's a tough nut. He's a guy that has been doing very well. I think he's only the second one. Isaiah Prince was the first one. Torrance is a guy that we still haven't found our inside nine guy, we call him. He's the Devin Smith. He came to me. He realizes it's going to take at least a year to play quarterback here, especially with what's in front of him. And he said, I want to play. And I said, well, here's your options. Wildcat quarterback. We'll see what your skill set is at receiver, catching the ball a little bit. He's a very good athlete. We put him back there returning kicks. Obviously, that wasn't live. So I only think it's been a day or two. So for us to, you know, say he's the anointed one or he's this or he's that, he's a kid that runs around pretty fast and is a really good guy. I mean, he's a team first guy, which I really appreciate that. But is he moved to receiver? No. No. Is he going to play? You know, remains to be seen. And that was kind of his, came to me and said, I want to play. And he sees what's in front of him with Cardell and JT and so forth.
How's the Braxton Miller move going in your mind?
He, typical receiver, we've, you know, guys that go play receiver that haven't, it's like a guy, safety going to play corner. That doesn't happen very often. But basically what a corner does in our defense, you line up, you tape your ankles, and you run for 2 hours of practice and play bump and run man coverage. As a receiver, you line up and you run for 2 hours. As a quarterback, you don't run. You run for maybe 4 or 5 minutes of practice, and you're doing other things. So he went through some, you know, just muscle tightness. He's fine, but we're being cautious. This is a big week for him. So we introduced him. He did very good, and I'm anxious to, as he is, to get going and get a starting spot. Yeah, we're just being cautious. You know, once again, Braxton taking contact isn't an issue. You know, he's taken a lot of contact over his career, and we want to make sure that shoulder's healed. You know, we were going to run a double pass the other day, and I want to make sure that he's ready to go throw it too. So we're going to do keep throwing him this week too, because that's going to be, you know, like that weapon that can do that as well as what he can do. That's, I just, God forbid, all of a sudden he throws that darn thing and then something happens. So I just want to make sure that he's ready. Big week for him. It is what it is. I think they're both right there, and you probably wouldn't expect me to say anything different, but that's what it is. They're both working their tails off, and it's one of the most refreshing competitions I've ever witnessed. You want to make it real hard, and all the walls are broken down, so they bleed on. We call it bleed on each other, and that means just it's that whole Chesterton quote we live by. The soldier doesn't fight because of the hatred of those in front of him. It fights because he or she fights because of the love of those behind them, and that's what we're trying to create right now. It's a survival mentality. This week is a tough one.